out of Brock Lesnar's farm. I think the milk is spoiled. What the hell was that? I don't know how to feel, people. On one hand, the Ultimate Farmer is the new WWE champion. Gotta keep the promise. Straight out of Brock Lesnar's farm. I don't even like milk that much. That was the hardest thing I had to do. Okay, the show was not that bad, but the ending was atrocious, people. I've never been this disappointed in a wrestling show. I've never felt this ill, this sick after a wrestling show. You mean to tell me that Kofi Kingston whooped Randy Orton's butt for months in 20-minute matches just to lose in a couple of seconds against Brock Lesnar, only then for some random chubby UFC fighter to show up and scare Brock Lesnar? Are you kidding me? That makes every single Kofi Kingston challenger look weak. And Kofi especially. Do you guys know which show lost in this AEW versus NXT thing? SmackDown. And of course, many people are going to say, how dare you? They are making a lot of money and it's a good business decision. Do you know how much money they make? Of course. But tell me, how does that exactly affect me as a fan? Will I get a paycheck? You're all so caught up in the ratings and the money, in the deals and the contracts, and you forget about the most important thing, entertainment. And that's the only thing you should actually care about. I'm sure this guy took training, I'm sure he's good, I've heard he's good. But the delivery was atrocious, people. Horrible. I even feel sorry for Kofi Kingston, man. Like, the man deserved better. And as a big SmackDown supporter, as a big SmackDown fan, I'm very disappointed. Like, this was the worst show out of every show we got this week. And I'm pretty sure this is something we are going to get for the rest of their time on Fox. Because it's not a wrestling show anymore. It's a sports feel kinda-ish WWE meets boxing, WWE meets UFC type of thing. And it's not for your hardcore wrestling fan. This show was so for the casuals.
Hi-ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell.
Welcome to Greatness of SmackDown. Let's start from the beginning of the show. The show kicked off with Stephanie McMahon and Vince McMahon welcoming you to SmackDown on Fox. And I gotta be honest, people, the stage looks pretty nice. I expected a fist like every single other wrestling fan in the world. But you know, I didn't really had high expectations, so at least we got something different. I don't even dislike Raw stage. Raw stage looks pretty good. This one looks better, of course. And it has that old SmackDown arena vibe. So, I liked it. I don't know. It looks a bit different. Not too crazy, you know, pretty old school. But it definitely did the job. Becky Lynch comes out to the ring to kick off the show. Becky talks about how much the fans helped her and how special SmackDown is. King Corbin interrupts. And he thinks that he should kick off SmackDown on Fox. The Rock came out, obviously a huge pop for the guy, and that was honestly the highlight of the show. The Rock making fun of Baron Corbin. Becky Lynch was here as well, of course, and, you know, I really don't think that Becky Lynch was needed here. I do understand why they did it, you know, Becky Lynch is not as popular as she was before, they needed The Rock, but it kind of felt forced. You know, every good bit of that segment was because of The Rock and Baron Corbin. Becky Lynch was just there. But if you haven't seen it, make sure to watch that segment because The Rock was entertaining as always. The most entertaining human being in history. Maybe that's the reason why he stole my nickname, I don't know. And of course, Becky and The Rock double teamed on Corbin. We got the People's Elbow and The Rock bottom. So like I've said, that was the highlight of the show and nothing really came close in my opinion. We saw Trish Stratus and Lita sitting at ringside, and then we got Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. It would be special, but we already saw that on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago. I really didn't care. The match wasn't bad, but again, it kinda felt forced, like most of the stuff on this episode of SmackDown. I didn't really like the match that much. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch won with a figure 8 on Bayley, and that was about it. The New Day is backstage for an interview and Kofi Kingston talks about being an underdog. But that's where he's more comfortable. He's gonna beat Brock Lesnar. Oh boy. Look, it's Tyson Fury. Universal Champion Seth Rollins comes out to the ring next. As soon as Seth steps in the ring, Bray Wyatt appears on the big screen and welcomes Seth to the Firefly Funhouse. Bray introduces his puppets to the audience, and his rabbit puppet is dressed up as Seth Rollins. Bray says since the rabbit puppet is such a big fan of Seth, maybe they should show Seth instead of telling him what's going to happen at Hell in a Cell. Bray puts the rabbit puppet in a cage with the buzzard puppet, and he basically destroyed the rabbit. See you in hell. So honestly, that was like the best episode of Firefly Funhouse in a while. Because I felt like it got kind of stale, but this one was actually very special, very well done, and I enjoyed it. Again, it was a good show, but the last impression, for me, ruined it. You know, the first impression, of course, the show is the first impression, but the last moment of the show. Then we got Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Intercontinental Champion versus Universal Champion. The match was very good, but unfortunately very short as well. That was the issue with the show in general. Without the commercials, it was only 1 hour and 36 minutes or something like that. That is not a lot for this kind of show, you know, a big show, the show of its magnitude. Anyway, like I've said, the match was great, but it ended when Bray Wyatt interrupted, you know, the lights went off. Seth Rollins, like in a few seconds, appeared right here. And of course, we got the mandible claw. Crowd popped. I wonder how Fox audience felt. And that is most likely going to affect on which brand Bray Wyatt will be. If the Fox audience will like it, he will be on SmackDown. If they won't, if it's something that they find cringy, he will probably be on Raw. He should stay on Raw in my opinion. I don't know. SmackDown is just, like I've said, it's going to be the show of the giants even more than Raw was back in the day. So, it's basically Monday Night Raw but blue, and Raw is going to be your SmackDown experience. Boy, I'm glad we have AEW. Oh boy, I'm glad. Then we got Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon in a ladder match. Whoever loses is going to get fired from the WWE. The match was good, I could not really complain, but it almost felt like they were trying to complete the tasks. Like, okay, we gotta have this spot, we gotta have this spot. It was basically me playing WWE 2K19. You know, the most generic ladder match you can imagine. Everything that we kinda wanted happened, but at the same time, that was kind of the issue. Of course, Kevin Owens won the match with a powerbomb. He grabbed the briefcase and he said, "You are fired, we got a stunner." Great stuff. Like, the moment was actually even better than the match. Like I've said, the match was not bad at all. I really liked it. But it felt like your generic ladder match. We got Braun Strowman, Heavy Machinery, and The Miz versus Ziggler, Rude, Orton, and AJ Styles. What was the point of that? I don't know. Well, I do, but, you know, I don't agree with that. Anyway, the only guy who got an entrance was Braun Strowman, unfortunately. And, yes, it was just, you know, whatever. Braun Strowman argued with Tyson Fury, you know. Then he kinda smashed, I think, Ziggler into the barricade. Tyson got mad, we got a super kick, Strowman no-sells it, and we got his finisher, 1, 2, 3, Team Braun wins the match. Tyson Fury is angry, we almost got a brawl, but security stopped them. It had this big fight feel, big show feel, I get it, and I didn't really find that bad. I thought it was alright. You know, it wasn't the end of the show, it wasn't a WWE Championship on the line. I don't know, is it something I care about? No, not really. We got Roman Reigns versus Rowan, one of the lowest points of the match, in my opinion. It was a lumberjack match, you know, pretty expected. In the middle of the match, Luke Harper came out because Daniel Bryan was on commentary, he attacked him. At the end of the day, Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan stood tall. You know, we got Daniel Bryan's finisher, we got Roman Reigns' finisher, and they shook hands. And you know what, people? I still think, again, that Daniel Bryan is the third man. I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan is behind this. Yes, they are attacking Bryan, but maybe that's the part of the plan. You know, you attack me and people will think that I have nothing to do with that. And at Hell in a Cell, we'll see. Speaking of Hell in a Cell, only 3 matches. Where's my 16-hour WWE experience? And of course, we got Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar. Okay, people, so the match starts. Kofi runs at Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar catches him. F5. 1, 2, 3. The winner and the new WWE champion, the Ultimate Farmer, Brock Lesnar. I mean, I've said that before. I want to see Brock Lesnar as the WWE champion. He makes the championship prestigious. Kofi's title run was just fine. It was good, but, you know, it got stale. It was maybe time. It probably was time. In that way, though, I don't think so. In a few seconds, you couldn't give Kofi Kingston at least a 4 or 3 minute match? Okay, Brock Lesnar is going to wrestle on Raw or SmackDown? No, he's not. What did we expect? So he wins the match. New WWE champion. I feel sorry for Kofi Kingston. Like I've said, that was one of the most saddest moments in the WWE. I don't know where this guy goes from here. Anyway, Rey Mysterio's music hits and I was like, okay, Rey Mysterio, is he that big of a deal? Of course he's not. Not a single WWE superstar is a big deal anymore because they had to use UFC fighter. Kane Vilenko, whatever he is. By the way, this guy, I think, defeated Brock Lesnar for the UFC championship. So he attacked Brock with some of the fakest punches I've ever seen from the UFC fighter. And Brock Lesnar was just scared. That even made Brock Lesnar look weak. So, this guy is the strongest dude in the WWE, I guess? If Brock Lesnar defeated Kofi Kingston in seconds, and Kofi Kingston defeated Orton, everyone basically, and Lesnar, who defeated Kofi, is scared of Kane, put this guy in the Hall of Fame. Okay, people, I'm exaggerating, I know. I'm just saying that it wasn't a show for your typical wrestling fan in 2019. Not the best way to end it. This rivalry is going to be for the title. Can you believe that? And just think about it. Wow. Just, wow. I don't know. I understand it from a business standpoint, but how does that affect me as a fan? I don't have to support it because people, WWE are making a lot of money. Am I going to get paid like most of the people on Twitter? I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, I would give this show 5 out of 10 because it was decent for the most part, but the ending just left a bad taste in my mouth. Thank you for watching the video. As always, the great one. Peace, love, and hugs.
The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell.